my queen, my bitch. Your lips, your eyes, your hips, your thighs. We met tonight. I hit tonight. You big, I big, I hit it right. She dick, much ice. You smoke, I drink.
CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. I see Mina, Azul, and Bella Gone Wild in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. My name is Lord Sanctus, and I have my co-host Chat Master C with me. Say what up. Or don't, you know. Oh, Mina in two places. I see you over there. I also see the card photos in here. Thank you for joining.
What up, everyone? Chatmaster C here. Hope you're all having a fantastic time. Shout out to Mina for being in two places at once. You're the real MVP. Thanks to everyone for tuning in and keeping the chat lively. Don't forget to share the stream and let more folks in on the fun. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's go. Grambino in the chat. What's good? Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. He says, Chatmaster C, like, nope.
Grambino, what's good? Thanks for joining us. Hi, I see you. Well, I guess nope it is then. Let's keep the vibes going strong. Remember to share the stream, everyone.
John Mercado is also in the chat on Twitch. What's good? And I see Fact Julie on Instagram. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream.
John Mercado, what's good? Thanks for hopping into the chat on Twitch. And a big shout out to Fact Julie on Instagram. We appreciate you all being here. Don't forget to share the stream and spread the love.
Let's go. If you've never been here before, we play 805 Hip Hop, and we talk about hip hop news every Monday through Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. My name is Lord Sanctus, your host. Thank you for tapping in. If you're not following us, please make sure you go ahead and tap that follow button and ring that notification bell. Today has been a really slow news day, y'all. It's not like a whole lot to talk about. Music is Key is in the chat. What's good? Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. So maybe we'll talk to Chat Master C and she can give us some topics to go over. Mina, you're also welcome to call in if you want to talk about the Exotic Erotica Expo. Grambino says, can we talk about the most underrated rappers of all time besides Dylan? We can definitely talk about the most underrated rappers of all time for sure. Mina, dope. Call in at 6:30, Mina. That's perfect. And we'll talk about the most underrated rappers of all time in the meantime. And we'll play some 805 hip hop and R&B if there's anything you want to hear. And I think we'll scroll the feed a little bit because I saw that there were some things going on that maybe we need to talk about. If there's anything you'd like me to play, just let me know. It's $5 Cash App or Venmo. My Cash App is Connect the Coast. Venmo, Connect the Coast 2021. Make sure you include the name of the artist and title of the song in the memo so I play the right thing. We use those funds to grow this stream and enhance the stream. Another way to support is to get yourself some CTC apparel like this right here. It's available on our shop, which is in our bio or in the link in our description. So go ahead and do that. Shout out to our sponsors, Station Head and Favor and Connect Cannabis, which we're partnered with the Source on. So if you want to get your weed delivered directly to you and you're in San Luis Obispo County, you can tap the link in our bio and check out Connect Cannabis, available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's smooth sailing, yo. I think, oh yeah, and then Shorty Doo-Wop is dropping new music June 21st, and Cav is dropping new music June 28th. So make sure you're following Cav and Shorty Doo-Wop. That's Shorty with a $, not a S, on Spotify and Apple Music, so you can pre-save those songs and get early access to those joints as well. Cool. I like that topic, Grambino, of the most underrated rappers. It's a good conversation. Go ahead and drop your top 5 most underrated rappers in the chat, especially Grambino, since he brought up the topic. We'll kick it off with some music and then we'll get into it. John Mercado says, Lord, we gonna watch the Deadpool movie or what? I'm with that. I'm 100% with that. Let's do it. Yeah, let's just figure it out. I'm with that. I want to see it anyways. It's gonna be fire. Up first on CTC Radio, I like this joint. This is Omega Nova. Never said. CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast.
I really appreciate your time, but I just don't think this is gonna work the way we hope it is. So this is goodbye. Take care. I never said that I was sorry. Some things are better left unsaid. And there's not always tomorrow. I've already made my bed. Yeah, traveling the world and it seems I ain't never met the girl of my dreams. Thought I was in love a few times. Maybe it was all just a dream. Never meant to make things difficult. I wish that we could end it on a different note. I wish I knew the things that I didn't know. Back to square one, how we get to go. Leave this hell as we set sail and be ourselves and be that well. No, we try to make it last forever. This love ain't love if you can't fail. Don't mean to break your heart in the summertime. Even though we fell apart, know you're gonna find another brighter day where the sun will shine. But I know there's times when you wonder why. I never said that I was sorry. Some things are better left unsaid. And there's not always tomorrow. I've already made my bed. I thought I knew you, but I didn't even know you. I thought I knew you, but I didn't even know you. Love ain't no bit of shit. Love ain't no bit of shit.
Mina Azul says, do you think those payphones even work? I'm so dead, yeah. I'm so dead. Yo, that is Omega Nova. I never said. He's out of Oxnard, California. If you like that joint, make sure you add it to your libraries. Add it to your playlist. Let them know where you heard it first. She says, Snow is so good. Who's Snow? Oh, Snow the Product #2. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting. That's super interesting. I want to play one more song, but we're going to talk about this. I'm hype about this conversation now.
Yeah, I can't go to sleep, especially when people close to me don't even see reality, and I know they sheep. We on a leash inside of these walls. I mean, we on a leash confined by the law. Roman streets, devices see all. I mean, these Roman streets will rise and will fall. Drones will creep, the eyes on the walls. I mean, you drones asleep and abide by it all. Stupid question when they asking why I hate the Poe. Maybe cause every interaction they taking dough. Maybe unjustly killed my family and skated though. Or could it just be cause it started a slave patrol? Hold up, let me blaze a bow. Take it back to the days of old. Before these major labels had a greater state control. And private prisons getting richer when they caging the stove. Before they ever tried to hide their racist goals. Before they kept our wages low. Before they ever gave a loan and made sure we never came to own. And always shown to hate the growth. Before the COINTELPRO and segregation though. In the days they traded slaves for gold. Before they invaded, enslaved, and raped our homes and eradicated our language spoke. I existed. Before the cave paintings and the hieroglyphics, I existed. In my past life, living shamanistic, I existed. In the garden, eat and get lifted. Yeah, after 2020, had the white in my vision.
Grambino says, I'm here for it. And yeah, Mina, I fell into a YouTube hole one night and like 6 years ago found one of her videos and was like, Jesus, who is this? I love this video style. I'm just not a huge fan of the visual concept, if that makes sense. No, I fully agree with that. I don't know if there's maybe not enough movement in the video for me or something. I'm not sure. But I mean, he's getting off though. He's flowing on this shit.
But the white Europeans, Masons, trying to make a land for the peeps. But Britain's reptilian fam disagreed. War with the slaves and France on their team. Then declared this be land of the free. But they never anticipated the integration of the natives relocated on reservations, or the slaves who built this place for generations, or every immigrant contributing to this nation. Now we packing a pistol with or no registration and filming pigs when they tripping in violation. Though at times you still feel that you ain't shit, I'm here to tell y'all that you ain't shit. You existed before the cave paintings and the hieroglyphics. You existed.
Graham says, oh yeah, the song is great. It's almost to where the video takes away from it from me. That's also a very interesting perspective. Does anybody else in the chat feel like that? Like you could just vibe with the song, just the audio itself.
The white in my vision. Do you understand all the lies that we're giving? History written by the side of the winning at times. Think of how to lie to the children and I think of all the lives that was stricken and died. We that lived inside in the system survive all the genocidal conditions. Now why start to see life as a mission to ride?
CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. King Trip in the building, the name Uno in the building. Produced by Loco 805 in the building. Thank you so much for joining. That's the homie Contra. It's called I Existed. If you like that joint, make sure you add it to your libraries, add it to your playlist. Tonight, we are you just hopped in the chat. We're actually talking about the top underrated MCs of all time. Mina Azul says, I prefer not to watch videos. I appreciate a good video, but I prefer just audio. That's interesting. Like a song to me isn't fully out in the world until it's visualized. Like it's only halfway out in the world if there's no visual to the song. That's how I feel about it. That's why I'm really upset that Aaliyah died, because I feel like she needs so many more visuals. Like her songs need to be visualized. That's a whole different conversation. But so Grambino brought up the topic, top 5 underrated MCs. He dropped his top 5 in the chat. He said number 1 is Kid. Number 2 is Snow the Product. Number 3 is Havoc of Mobb Deep. My bad. Let me text my homie real quick. Can I call you after the show? After my show. Cool, my bad. And I gotta bring Chat Master C in on this. So we're talking about the top underrated MCs of all time. This topic was brought up by Grambino in the chat. Number 1 is Kid. His top 5 are as follows. Number 1 is Kid. Number 2 is Snow the Product. Number 3 is Havoc of Mobb Deep. Number 4 is all of the 2010 to 2012 G-Unit run. And number 5, honestly, Shorty Doo-Wop. I like that. He says, I feel like he's just one set of ears away from just being discovered in another huge market. That's a pretty dope top 5. Chat Master C, what you got to say about that?
That's a solid list, Grambino. Kid definitely has some underrated gems. Snow, the product, is a powerhouse with incredible flow. Havoc from Mobb Deep brings that gritty, raw style. The G-Unit run from 2010 to 2012 had some serious heat. And Shorty Doo-Wop, I agree, just needs the right exposure to blow up. It's a fresh mix of talent that doesn't always get the recognition they deserve. Props for shining a light on them.
Do you even know who Shorty Doo-Wop is?
I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with Shorty Doo-Wop. What makes him stand out to you, Grambino? I'd love to know more about his style and why you think he's so underrated.
That's why you can't trust AI. They be lying to you. I see Jay Riley in the chat. King Trip says, I feel the same way about videos. They take away from the song a lot of the times. I mean, I could understand that. For me, like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just more of a visual person. So if I don't see the video, if the song is fire, then I could still rock with it without a video. But I definitely prefer that songs have videos, especially if I love the song. Big Time Bake is in the chat. We're talking about top underrated MCs of all time, and we're talking about if music videos take away from the song. The name Uno says bad videos do for sure. I still don't even mind bad videos, yo, because to me there's no like, I never believed in the whole like once you put out one video for the song, that's the only video that could ever exist for the song. I feel like you have a million different tries to shoot different videos. So again, this is just me. I definitely hear where you guys are coming from, but that's just how I feel. Grambino also agrees with Mina. He says he prefers not to watch videos as well. Grambino says, she's like, Grambino is a bum. LOL. Why do you do that to her, Lord? Putting her on the spot in public. Because I want to know how deep the knowledge, how well is she trained? You know what I'm saying? I think that she says she has data up to 2020 or something like that. So Shorty Doo-Wop should be in there. Mina Azul says, I get very distracted. And Graham, are you not going to answer Chat Master C back? You know what I'm saying? Let her know why Shorty Doo-Wop is special to you. And while you do that, I'll say my top 5 underrated MCs are Ganukis. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Ganukis is not one of my top 5 underrated MCs. I don't know who that is. I would say number 1 is probably Skilo. I love Skilo's first album, believe it or not. Number 2 would be, I think Mace is criminally underrated. At least in this later generation. During his time, he was not underrated, but in this generation, I still think he got some fight left in him, and I think he's underrated. I think DDG is criminally underrated, yo. DDG is dope to me. The Real Trap God just joined. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. We're talking about our top 5 underrated MCs. So I said mine, number 1 is Skilo. Skilo sings, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. That album is actually really dope. Like, his bars are crazy. His beats are crazy. I'm pretty sure he made all the beats, and he doesn't even cuss on that album, and he's spitting bars, which I don't really care I prefer that you do cuss, but he just made a really good album without cussing, which is hard sometimes. So I like Skilo. Number 2 would be Mace and Betha. I think he's underrated for this current generation. I don't know that the generation of today appreciates Mace the way they should have. I mean. Number 3 is DDG. Every time DDG drops something, I pretty much like it. Like, he got bars to me. Number 4, who would I put at number 4? Maybe Eve. Nah, Eve is not like an underrated MC, but I think her projects are underrated. She's not an underrated MC. She has fire projects. This is hard. I don't know. I have to think about number 4 and number 5. Chatmaster C Grambino 740 says, I mean, Shorty is a unique storyteller. He tells stories with incredible, vivid images in a style that is accessible and easy to understand. I've played Shorty for my mom, and she loved it.
That's awesome, Grambino 740. A unique storyteller with vivid imagery is always a standout. It's great to hear that his style is so accessible that even your mom enjoyed it. That says a lot about his versatility and appeal. Thanks for sharing that insight.
Grambino 740 says, Eve of Destruction. See, man, I feel you. Mina Azul says, the fact that you referenced the same Skilo song that was on Punk Goes Crunk. What is Punk Goes Crunk? I've never even heard of this before. Fill me in on that. I don't know what that is. King Trip says, I seen Graf perform last night at the Novo, and he had some real hip hop bars and good stage presence. Millie's was there too, and he had some good music too. Never heard of either before, but they went off. I think that Graf is an underrated. If we're talking about underrated rappers, Graf is he could easily be on the list, but he don't have no fire songs to me. But like, if we're talking about who could rap, he's ridiculous. Millie's can rap too, but I don't know. He never really grabbed me. Like I think he's one of the best from Boston, but on a national level, he's not my favorite. I like my favorite from Boston is what's his name, yo? I can't even think of it right now. But Chat Master C, you want to chime in?
Sure, I get what you're saying. Graf definitely has the lyrical skill, but sometimes it takes more than that to make a song truly fire. And I hear you about Millie's. He's got the talent, but connecting on a national level can be tricky. Boston has some great artists, though. If you remember the name of your favorite, let us know. It's always interesting to hear different perspectives on who stands out.
Yeah, I can't remember his name from Boston that I like, but if it comes to me, I'll drop it out on y'all. Chris the Thrillist is in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. We're talking about our top five underrated MCs. Let me know who yours is. Drop it in the chat. King Trip says, neither are my cup of tea, but they had some dope shit. And the Novo is always a good time, yo. Like, what was the event, King Trip? While I try to think of who my number 4 and 5 would be. Grambino says, Mina, I sent him Bad Omens the other day. We're going to get him in the punk, hardcore, metalcore club. I'm scheming. Mina says, let's make it happen. Yeah, y'all could try. The name Uno says, I don't know if I have a top 5 unless I really think about it, but low key, I know he passed. But Triple X Tentacion, his music is different when you go back and get that. Nah, honestly, like, I listen to Moonlight by Triple X probably once every 3 months and just realized like, oh, like he was on some other type shit, yo. Like, I didn't love all of it, but I think he was really, really different.
Yeah, XXXTentacion definitely had a unique style that stood out. Moonlight is a great track that showcases his versatility and depth. He blended different genres and emotions in his music, making it really distinct. Even if not all his work resonates with everyone, you can't deny he brought something new to the table.
100%. Okay, so Grambino says Triple X is criminally underrated. I wouldn't say he's underrated at all. I think he just had it. I think his career was just shortened too early, but I don't think that he is underrated. I also would argue that Don Toliver is not underrated. I think that I don't know. Everywhere I go, Don Toliver is on the playlist. Where it almost doesn't matter who I'm around, and I'm older than most people. Like, but even if I'm around people my age, like Don Toliver is on the playlist. So I don't know that I would say he's underrated, but that's just what I see in my life. I don't really track his numbers like that. What makes you think he's underrated, Uno? King Trip says he took my kids to see Joyner. They're big on his music. I think Joyner Lucas might be, I don't like his music, but I could see him being on an underrated MC list. Would he be on my underrated MC list? That's a different question. Oh, you know who would get the number 4 slot? Pharoah Monch. Pharoah Monch would get the number 4 slot for sure. And would it be fair to put Black Thought on the list? Because I know people always recognize that Black Thought can rap, but I feel like he's never on people's top 5 when I hear about it. Vinny Paz is a good one. He wouldn't be on my list, but he deserves to be on an underrated list. Like he's barred up. I think the same for Cannabis. I know he went out sad, but Cannabis is pretty slept on. Mina says, I love the song with Triple X and Noah Cyrus. I haven't heard that one. Music is Key says, he should be bigger, but I don't know about underrated. Key, are you talking about Triple X? And the name Uno says, but I'm an R&B nigga, so my list is different. Who's on your R&B list, Uno? Grambino says, Jedi Mind Tricks and Pharaoh Monch were great back in the day. Yeah, now, like I said, Vinny Paz definitely deserves to be on a official underrated list, but I don't know if he would be on mine. Pharaoh, though, Pharaoh Monch is definitely, I'm giving him the number 4 spot for me. The name Uno says, underrated to me is superstar or not. That's me personally. It's the people that get pushed versus the people who don't. Mina Azul, you know who Don Toliver is with the question mark? That is good. How, Grambino, since you brought up the topic, how are you defining underrated? Because I do think that is a really good point, Uno, to bring up how we're defining underrated. So Uno says, underrated to me is, are you a superstar or not? That's what he personally believes, but it's are you getting pushed versus the people who don't get pushed? Music is Key says Don. Grambino 740 says, which version of Vinny? Jedi Mind Tricks Vinny, Pharaoh's Army Vinny, or La Coca Nostra Vinny? I'm JMT Vinny personally. I think there's some stuff in La Coca Nostra, but I'm JMT Vinny. John Mercado 97 says, what up, my guys? At Music is Key and at the name Uno. Music is Key says, Merc, what's good, bro? Mina Azul says, yes. Oh, shit, she knows Don Toliver. Let's go, Mina. You didn't know what a two-step was, but you knew who Don Toliver is. Okay. Make it make sense, but okay. The name Uno says, cousin Travis Scott or his girl with the laughing emojis. And the name Uno says, what up, Jody? What about my fifth one? Would Black Thought from the Roots, would you describe him as underrated? Dome Splitters SB just joined. So did Saul S805N. Thank you so much for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. We're talking about underrated MCs, and we're trying to define underrated as well. I guess, how would I define underrated? And Mina, feel free to call in at 6:30. That's in 3 minutes. You can hit me on Instagram. How would I define underrated? I would define underrated as someone who I think pretty much the same as Uno, like somebody, or maybe differently. I don't know. It's not necessarily about who's getting pushed. It's more so about like whose talent level, like if your talent level matches somebody who's getting mainstream attention, but you don't get that same amount of attention. So I guess, yeah, that's who's getting pushed versus who doesn't. Yeah. So I guess me and Uno would have the same thing. You know who might be on my number 5? I got to think about it. But on my number 5 underrated MCs of all time, I think Mick Jenkins might be on there because he goes ultimately crazy. Shorty Doo-Wop and Big Ray the Don are in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. We're talking about underrated MCs, top 5 underrated MCs of all time. Actually, Grambino, who are your top 5 underrated MCs on the coast? So take out Shorty Doo-Wop from your underrated. Well, if you want to, you can take out Shorty Doo-Wop from your top 5 underrated MCs of all time and put him on the coast list, or is he on your favorite top 5 underrated MCs of all time? And then who's underrated on the coast? I think Shorty Doo-Wop would be my number 1 underrated MC on the coast. I know that the people that know him know that he's barred up, but I don't feel like enough people know who he is. You know what I'm saying? But we're working on that. I think my number 2 underrated MCs on the coast. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back to my underrated MCs of all time. You know who gets my number 5 slot for sure? And everybody disagrees with me on this, but I know I'm right. This dude is barred up, and he never gets credit for his bars. It's Pharrell Williams. He's my number 5. And then Mick Jenkins would be my bonus number 6. But On the coast, my top 5 underrated MCs would be Shorty Doo-Wop, Hootie Who 95 says Devin the Dude was pretty underrated. Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't know about. Nah, he was barred up. He was barred up. That's a good call. Mina says neither. Who is his girl? Grambino 740 says, to me, someone is underrated if they aren't a household name. Like when I talk rap music, I got like 20 rappers that if someone doesn't know them, I just don't think that person is serious about hip hop. That's a fair. I like that approach. The name Uno says, haha, welp, I stand corrected. Grambino says, I'm judgmental as fuck. If they aren't a household name. Okay. And Grambino says, why is Andy Milonakis not on the list? Oh my God. Top 5 underrated coast lists. Yeah. I'm still thinking about who would be my number 2, 3, 4, and 5 underrated coast lists. Music is Key says, nope. Don turned down Double XL Freshman, was on Rolling Loud after and before his first debut album, went on a hook spree before his second album, and people have argued if he's actually better than Travis. LOL mainstream success. Sure, he's not that big of an artist, but people definitely know he's a weapon. And yeah, I mean, his pen, like melodically, what he's able to do with his voice, like he's definitely better than Travis to me. Like, that's just me, but yeah, Don is different. Mina Azul says there's a Lego movie coming up with Pharrell. I know, I heard about that. The name Uno says Joel Lobin, Ye Ali, Party, Day 26, Neo, in no order. I don't know who Joel Lobin is, so you just put me up on somebody there. Ye Ali is, I think, very underrated. He's fire in R&B. Party Next Door, I wouldn't say Party is underrated. Is he? Is he? Day 26, I feel like they're rated exactly where they should be, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Neo, I feel like, so I'm torn about Neo, and we can go with the R&B shit, my nigga. I'm an R&B nigga, so we can go with R&B. But R&B, Neo to me is, his pen is strong, but it's like I feel like every song Neo writes is like a Stan song. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem Stan, like that song is really good. It's really well written, but you only want to hear that shit like one time. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Neo songs. Like they're good. They're really well written. They're very conceptual, but I only want to hear that shit one time. Like I don't want to hear, and I'm so sick of love songs on repeat. I don't want to hear that shit on repeat. Like I don't want to hear to the left on repeat. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just not for me. That's not how my life is set up, and so I can't do it. The name Uno with the laughing emojis. Uno says, because you don't have no neck, Grambino 740. Talking about Andy Milonakis. Mina Azul says, literally, the Andy Milonakis theme song goes through my brain. I don't even know that theme song, but I know I battled Andy Milonakis once. I bodied him, super bodied him. The name Uno says, and how many sales has he done? Music is Key. That's my point. I feel like Don Toliver's streaming numbers are crazy, though. I feel like the name Uno says, not 4 years ago did he get pushed. Mina Azul says he got baloney in my left pocket. But Grambino says, Mina, he got baloney in my left pocket. Music is Key says that goes back to the defining. Are we defining underrated by sales or who the people push? Because there's plenty of artists who don't get shit, who do shit numbers, but culturally equal to the people who do big numbers. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. The name Uno says, you're disrespectful. Mina, I'll just call you right now. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to call from my personal Instagram. So don't ghost me. Let's see if this works. I never make phone calls on this. Grambino says number 1 is Shorty Doo-Wop. Number 2 is Gia. I feel like Gia needed more time to breathe. 3 is Weeby Digi. 4 is Sanctus. Because he has bars. 5 is Uno. Uno is someone that you have to really listen to. I like it. An artist that makes me work for it. I fuck with that. Hello?
Hey, look, you did it.
We did it. Hold on. Let me see. That sounds super quiet. Can say something?
Hi.
There we go. Hey.
I was free.
Mina Azul on the chat. Let me go ahead and hit the applause button because you know we need that. Hey. Let's get it. So thank you for joining. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Well, so Mina is what I go by. Yeah, I'm in Ventura. I'm on the Ventura Tide Pod. I just pretty much talk a lot of shit on there. Don't really know I don't know
Hell
what else
yeah.
to do on there. That's kind of my job. Yeah.
How did you connect with Ventura Tide Pod?
So they hit me up and said, "Hey, we're doing an all women, like local, like businessy type women and such, for the month of, I think it was October." And they were like, "Hey, we came across you. You do model shit. You want to come on?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, sure, why not?" I'd never been on a podcast yet.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, I've been invited on podcasts, but I just never did it. I don't know. I don't feel like it. But I went with that one, and they were like, "Hey, so do you want to come back on again?" And then I just never left.
I like that. I'm gonna hit the applause button again for that one. Let's go. Grambino says, Mina, the quote unquote greatest of all time. Azul, she said the check's in the mail. LOL. Let's go. So recently, because you said you do modeling stuff, recently were you working or were you just attending at the Erotica Expo in Ventura? Can you break down what that is and what your role was there?
Yeah, so the Erotica Festival, it's been around for a couple of years. Not a lot, because we know there's COVID and shit. And it was at a different location, but the gal brought it to the Majestic Theater in Ventura. And a photographer, once she got wind of it and it was being like promoted, a photographer I've worked with a few times, she hit me up and said, "Will you be the model for the photos?" And we
Hell
actually
yeah.
did 2 different sets of photos. And she submitted, like, I think the max was 3 you could submit at a time. So they did choose one of the photos. The curator does select, like, she's very selective. You pretty much only get like 1 piece of art.
Okay.
So she did select one of the ones that I was in. So the theme that we did, pretty much when you break it down, it's like dandy. I don't know if you probably don't know what a dandy is.
I have no
but think
idea
like
what that is.
Marie Antoinette.
Okay.
The royalty, the kings, and all that kind of shit.
The super powdery makeup on the face with the big wigs.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
And we did like super dramatic eyelashes, but we put an erotic twist on it. And that was the whole thing. We actually wanted to be a lot louder than what it was.
Okay.
Colorful background.
What was the erotic twist?
So we had the cutest colors. I'm going to start with that because they were adorable. But then I was actually dressed. So a dandy is a man. So I was actually dressed as a man, but I just had on one of the coats, one of the really cool coats. And I had on like knee-high stockings and some shoes, and then a strap-on with like a really oddly realistic looking dick on it, like a dildo.
Okay. And whose concept was this?
That was her concept, and now she's gonna build off of it. But that's the photo of me that was in there. We also did a second set. None of the ones in the second set were actually put in the show. But for that one, I was the female counterpart to the male dandy. So I did like the feminine version, which was pretty much, that one was like all nude for the most part.
Okay.
Because it was just like the cage part of the skirts, they were really billowed out.
Yeah.
So it was the caging underneath.
Okay.
And like an underbust and a wig and all that kind of stuff. I actually had a mask on. The first photo on my Instagram profile right now that's pinned is like the close-up headshot from that set.
What's your
But in it-
Instagram?
What's up?
What's your Instagram for people if you want to share?
Yeah, so it's Mina Mina_Azul AZUL_.
There we go. The name, I gotta read it in order, Uno. The name Uno says, I love you, Mina, but read it after the dick convo, though, because that sounds crazy. Grambino says, LOL, Uno, I'm dead. And he says, got shawty dressed like a British Lucifer with a dick.
You know what? And I think the greatest part is that I'm actually like heavily tattooed underneath my clothing.
Okay.
So you see like all my tats, like you see like all those tattoos you don't normally see. It's all black and gray. And so actually my stomach tattoo is a devil goat.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then I have some mandala work and stuff like that. So like the juxtaposition of just all these elements together is pretty wild.
Okay. So walk us through this. What is the experience? Walk us through the expo up to your activation, up to your booth. What's that experience like? What are the people like? What are the sights we're seeing? Take us through it.
Oh man, so I went earlier in the day. I kind of stayed a little bit low key because I like to just observe. There were people who recognized me and recognized me afterwards and sent me messages, which to me is always weird. It always like throws me off because I don't know. I don't go out a lot. So when people recognize me, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it's really interesting because everyone there, it's like such a specific community. So everybody knows what you're there for. Mm-hmm. You know, you're there to see like things that are probably related to sensuality. Really interesting. It's a little bit hard to explain, but if you've been to an expo, you know, you have the vendors, you have the people. Some people are dressed more the part. They might have some harnesses on. You couldn't be naked, obviously, for it. You had to have like nipples covered and everything, of course. But yeah, like it's honestly pretty normal.
Are there like kink after parties or orgy after parties? How's all that work?
There was an after party at Patty's.
What's Patty's?
Patty's is the local gay bar that is just like always popping.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 10, what do you rate the expo? Would you go back? Would you recommend other people from the chat go?
I would recommend it. I would go back. I thought it was really cool, and it's the first time there. I've been to other expos there. I actually was just at Paranormal Con this last Saturday over there, and I'm gonna be at a toy expo over there next week. Regular toys, not adult toys.
I had that with you. I had to ask, but
yeah.
What do you collect? What kind of toys do you collect?
So I'm actually going because my friend who owns the mystery shop in Ventura, which is moving to Oxnard.
Okay.
I always help him out at those things, and then I actually know the guy who's putting it together, and he's the one who owns a toy collection store called Daniel's Toy Empire, which is also in Ventura.
Got you. Okay, dope. That sounds cool. And when is that?
The Toy Expo is, God, what's today? It's next weekend.
Okay.
The 22nd.
Cool. I only have 2 more questions for you. One, I heard there's is there something happening at the mystery shop this Friday with Ventura Tide Pod?
So Tide Pod, we were going to have a podcast, but we had to actually cancel it for this Friday. Season 3 is still put on hold.
Oh, damn.
Next week should be good, though.
Okay, fair enough. And then the last question is from Grambino740. He says, what is Mina's top 5 hardcore, emo, punk, and metalcore bands? Please and thank you.
Oh my God. That just takes me back to high school. I'm old. That takes me back to like high school and shit. I listen to a lot of, I'm just going to tell you I listen to a lot of The Used, from first to last, OTEP. OTEP was like my female hardcore metal. What else I listen to? Everybody listened to My Chemical Romance. If you didn't, you weren't emo. So there's that. Those are the first 4, like right off the top of my head. I was actually more heavily into like folksy country and rockabilly because I was doing pinup more towards that time.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Grambino740 says, I actually know the lead singer of OTEP. She's insane.
She actually did a book of poetry that was pretty cool.
That's what's up. Well, Mina Azul, please let the people know where they can follow you and how they can best support you. And thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Oh, also, I'm just gonna say, Uno, fuck you with the whole dick. That photo, that beautifully framed photo of me with this dildo out, did sell within a couple hours at the expo. So now somebody has me on their wall.
Okay. So, Uno, don't be scared of the dick. And who? And have you been sent the picture of you with this dildo on the wall in somebody's house?
You know what? If I have any bragging rights, I think it's that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a uniquely that's a unique experience that you can say. So, shout out to you for that.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Mina_Azul_MINA_AZUL. I do not speak Spanish, so please don't speak Spanish to me. I know that's really misleading. I'm so sorry that it's my real name. I can't do anything about it. All my links are there.
Cool.
Click it. Also support Ventura Tide Pod because that's like one of my favorite places to be. And the mystery shop, especially if you love live music and all that too. So, yeah.
There you go. Mina Azul, thank you so much. You have a great night.
Thank you.
All right. There you go. You got to click it to kick it. Mina Azul. Make sure you follow her. She said Mina_Azul, I believe. Uno said, wow. Hey, relax. No diddy. With the laughing emojis. Grambino740 says Uno does not want every inch of the beef. He's not FG, for God's sake. As his attorney, I'm done with the chat. Oh my God, yo. Shout out to Mina as well for that. I think I had it in my mind who underrated on the coast was. I said one Shorty Doo-Wop, two. I had a second one. It just came to my mind, yo. Frost Dynasty. I think Frost Dynasty is like super underrated. I don't know how much he loves actually doing music because he's talented at a lot of other things. So I don't know where music falls on that list, but I think he's really, really good at it. I think Philly is not underrated. He just doesn't. He's been good this year, but he doesn't put out a lot of music. Excuse me, but I think everybody likes Philly, and I think everybody knows that Philly's dope. So I don't know that I would call him underrated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because everybody knows who he is. I think Louis might be underrated. I don't feel like I hear enough people bring him up. Grambino says I get people in trouble, and Philly's gonna be on your podcast as well. That's dope. I definitely want to see that episode too. Fire emoji, Roz, Blue Diamond Lounge, Mama GC, all in the chat. Grambino said that Central Coast Gia was number 2 on his list of underrated MCs on the coast. He said he felt like Gia needed more time to breathe. And Weeby Digi also needed more time to breathe. I didn't see Weeby Digi's come up because I wasn't on the coast during that time. I was in LA. So I never saw his come up. I just kind of heard about him when I got back. But I liked his music. As far as Gia, I don't even know what happened with that. You'd have to ask her on that one. But I don't know that I would say Gia was underrated because while she was moving, like everybody fucked with her. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody fucked with her while she was moving. So I don't know. I think now, like at this day and age, at this time, it's fair to call her underrated. But for where she was at when she was releasing music, I don't know that I would say she was underrated. Casey Family's in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you don't mind. I think else is underrated on the coast? I think OGT might be a little bit underrated. The name Uno says the Coast Casper is underrated. Grambino 740 says Santa is underrated. Santa is highly overrated, yo. Who else? I think as an MC, Braille might be underrated. I'm not counting his rock and roll alternative music, but as an MC, he might be underrated. He can rap. That's 4. I think I'll put myself one person from the coast is the Black Girl Soul Power. Is that Black Girl Soul Power? Wait, what are you talking about, Uno? Who is the Coast Casper? Oh, you talking about he said that. He said that Black Girl Soul Power Girl. Oh my God, yo. Oh my God. You talk about Southside Kathleen, bro. You're ridiculous. I'll put her on the list. I'll put her. Southside Kathleen is underrated for sure. Oh my God. He said you're the Coast Casper. Yeah, I put myself maybe on the list as underrated, but I don't. Like, I think the people that know, but I don't know that everybody knows. Because, a lot of people come up to me, and if another person says that, oh, he does music, everyone's like, wait, what? Like, I don't think a lot of people know that I do music like that. So, I might put myself on the list, but that's just my experience. I don't know how everybody else sees me from the outside, but that's my experience. He said, Casper, because niggas got people on the list. You the real artist. Stop. He said, that's 2 niggas to me. Yo, anyways, we'll end it with that. Thank you for that topic, Grambino. That was a good topic. That was a lot of fun. Fire emoji says she was fire for sure. I missed the music. Roz Montgomery says Gia for sure. DCCCV85 just joined. Thank you for joining. And Roz Montgomery with the laughing emoji says, nah, for sure. You're underrated. Thank you, Roz. I appreciate that. If you enjoyed the stream, the best way to support us is to get CTC apparel like this joint right here. Tap the link in our Instagram bio. I dropped the link in both chats as well, so you should be able to find it. But if you can't do that, don't worry. It's no pressure. Just tap the follow button. Tap the notification bell and meet us back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, to keep the conversation going, because I will be back. Shout out to our sponsors, and you still have about an hour to order your cannabis. If you're in Slow County and you need some, get it from Connect Cannabis. The link for that is in our Instagram bio, because that is also a great way to help the stream. I will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Don't forget, Shorty Doo-Wop is dropping new music June 21st. Cav is dropping new music June 28th. So make sure you're following both of them on streaming platforms, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Peace.
Lonzo on the bass, so you know the bitch.
Just me and you. What's good with you? Yo king, yo prince, my queen, my bitch. Your lips, your eyes, your hips, your thighs. We met tonight. I hit tonight. You been, I been, I hit it right. She dick, much ice. You smoke, I drink. I know you think that I was good tonight.
Off the rip, look.
What I did, I made a 20 out of 25 cent. I got the enemy streaming my shit. I make a broad only like coochie like dick. Me and him, we ain't the same. He ain't got an ounce of